once you've got a job with them. So some of the work is actually real in the workplace. I've already shown you the link there to what all the former students who've done this course are doing, but this presentation is on the webpage as PDF, PowerPoint and HTML. If you open HTML, all these links are hot and you could use them that way. So I think I've covered all this. So these are the things I expect in your learning portfolio. So all your one-page tutorial summaries. So if you do go away to train for Olympics for 3 weeks and there is a student here going for work overseas for a couple of weeks, I still expect you to do those summaries, and because all the material is on the web, you can do that, and you hand it in at the end of the course. As I said, I want you to go to 2 lectures, talks, seminars, and explain how they're relevant to environmental policy and planning. I want you to reflect on your classmates' briefing papers. And also I'd like just each week for you to just give a very brief reflection on what occurred to you as interesting in each lecture or tutorial, something you learned in that lecture or tutorial. And again, there's lots of examples on the web of that. So I've already mentioned this, the graduate and the Honors Park Oxford students, the brief 8-minute seminar on environmental policy and planning that works in your country. And can you see some examples of this? Yes, there's lots and lots of examples. So make sure the graduate students, if you do something that works, because the focus is on developing environmental policy and planning that works. And be aware that some of the older PowerPoints didn't have that requirement, but we realised we had to focus that physical assessment a bit more. Attendance at lectures is strongly encouraged, but we know that people have jobs. There's 7 or 8 people today on a geology field trip, so there's some of the material that's going to go on the video stream. Hopefully it'll all be taped and available by each Friday afternoon on the If you can't come to any of the lectures, I wouldn't be doing this course, and obviously you guys already come. And the tutorials are really, really important. So if you can't come to the tutorials, I wouldn't do the course. You must attend the lecture the week after the tutorial to give some feedback on how that facilitation worked and what you learned from facilitating the topic. And you're required in your learning portfolio to comment on what you learned in lectures. So I'm quite happy for people to miss 2 lectures or 2 tutorials without having to explain why, but if you start missing more than that, just give me a note in your learning portfolio to explain why. Quite happy for people to miss 2 lectures or 2 tutorials without having to explain why, but if you start missing more than that, just give me a note in your learning portfolio to explain why. I've stressed the importance of tutorials in the course. You can read that at your leisure. We'll say more about super tutorials next week. So before next week, if you can, if you haven't done already, go down to the National Museum. It's only a 15 or 20-minute walk that way. It's got some very interesting displays on environmental history. I'd like people to come to the tutorial next week with just some ideas on what that environmental history is portrayed there. What are the implications of that for environmental policy and planning? Check out the course webpage. Make sure you come to the first tutorial with an idea of which of the topics you want to do. So we're going to have to allocate in some way, probably just tossing a coin and going around the room left or right. So make sure you have a couple of ideas of topics you want to facilitate. You won't necessarily get to the first choice. And here is the last slide I'll show you. And this is all written on your handouts that you've got. So this is the task we want you to do. And each week we want you to bring 2 copies. And I know that's using a bit of paper, but 2 copies of a 1-page summary. And for next week we want you to say what you want to get out of the course. Bearing in mind we want to share the different perspectives that people bring together in this course. Your thoughts on the proposed assessment. Your thoughts on how to encourage good discussions in tutorials. And there's some criteria already up there on what makes a good facilitation. Bearing in mind you're going to be marked against these criteria. If you're unhappy with them, tell your tutor and we can change those assessment panels. And finally, a line or 2 of what environmental policy and planning lessons there are from the National Museum of New Land Display. The first hour of next week's tutorials we're going through that. The second hour, we'll go downstairs or over to the Hancock Flexible Learning Studio for 2 of the tutorials to have a workshop with some of the librarians about some new databases in terms of finding up-to-date current referee journal articles, something else you need to do in this course. So are there any clear in the tutorial. So we'll have a 5-minute break now, but we can't ask you that because the person is not, anyone who's not in the tutorial can see me. Can I introduce Felicity Marr, who's just up in the back, who, as I told you, is a 10-year veteran from 2 big schools and will be helping me run the super tutorials. So back here in 5 minutes.